You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the Artistic Director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello and welcome to the very first podcast of 2025 here on Unstoppable Actors. I am wishing you so much success over these next 12 months, and I am so excited to be your cheerleader. I want nothing more than for you to become an unstoppable actor. It's absolutely doable, as you hear me say in the intro, and these episodes are designed to hit all areas of acting, not just the craft of acting and method acting, which I specialise in, but the business of acting and your mindset as well, because those are the 3 points of the method acting success triangle that you need to be hitting. And I specifically today wanted to talk to you about how you can have a successful 2025 with your acting, because I know that so many of you are going to be feeling so fired up, so pumped, really excited to get going. You're going to be wanting to jump in with both feet, but I do not want you to have a year where you set goals with your acting career and then come the end of 2025, you don't feel like you've made much progress. I want to show you, or share with you even, the mistakes around goal setting so you can avoid them, and a better way to set goals in 2025 so you can actually achieve them. Now, before I do, I want to introduce to you the 10-week method acting module. Today is the very last day that you can apply for a place on the January 2025 module called Building a Believable Character. It starts on Wednesday, the 15th of January. It's an incredible professional actor training that is going to help you become so much more proactive and organised with your acting. It's going to allow you to get more doors opened with your career. You are going to feel so much more confident with your character choices, with your performances, and you are going to make bolder character choices that help you stand out. This training helps you become 10 times more castable, and that is how so many of my students have gone on to get cast in such incredible productions. You've heard where they've featured in the introduction. I don't need to go over that again, but if that's something that you want to achieve as well, something very similar, then I highly encourage you to get an application form in as soon as you have listened to this episode, because today is the very last day you can apply for a place on the January 2025 10-week method acting module called Building a Believable Character. I've left the link underneath the episode for you, directly underneath where you press play. So this morning, I heard something on a reel on Instagram and it made me think of you. And the guy who was on the reel was talking about sprinting, and he was using this as an analogy for your goal setting in 2025. And I loved this concept. And what he was sharing is that if you start 2025 trying to sprint straight away, you are going to do damage to yourself. You'll damage your hamstrings. And I was like, yeah, that's absolutely true. I run, and I know that's true. I know that when you go full on into something without preparing yourself, without working your way up, you are going to cause damage. I've ran a lot of 10Ks, I've ran a half marathon, and I do road running. Having said that, I've not run for the last 2 months just because it's been so dark, but usually I do run very regularly. And I know what he's talking about when it comes to damaging yourself. And that analogy can also be transferred over into your acting goals, because you don't need to go into everything full pelt. Just like if you were wanting to start running, you need to build up slowly so you don't become fatigued and burn out and cause damage. So what happens is a lot of people get sucked into the new year, new me game. They get very excited by that. They go in full pelt with their acting goals, but then come February, March time, they're back to square one. And they're back to square one because they've gone in with so much energy that they've become fatigued. And when you become fatigued, it releases your inner critic. And your inner critic will start to tell you stories that an acting career is not possible. The stories will be negative. It might be things along the lines that you're not talented enough. It happens for other people and not you. These stories are always negative, and an acting career becomes stressful. And when it becomes stressful, this leads us to feeling overwhelmed. And the brain simply does not like overwhelm. And when it feels like it's in overwhelm, it will stop you taking action. And that is why so many actors stop taking half as much action as they did in January, in February and March. We don't want you going all in so early on in January. What we want is consistency. We want to get your brain on board to help it feel like an acting career is easy. And the way we do this is with something called habit stacking. So we have to start small. Habit stacking will allow that inner critic to shrink. It will allow your brain to feel like this is easy, so it keeps taking action. So if I give you an example, if you want to start the habit of flossing your teeth, the best thing to do is actually not to start flossing all of your teeth. It's actually to build it up tooth by tooth. So you would start off flossing one tooth for a week. Now, some of us are going to be impatient and be like, oh, what's the point in just doing one tooth? I want to do them all. But you have to execute some patience and go, actually, flossing one tooth for a week is something my brain can get on board with. So rather than it becoming a new habit that I do for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and then it going out of the window, I'm actually creating long-term habits by being patient and by flossing that one tooth for a week. And then the second week, you would start off introducing another tooth. So you're flossing 2 teeth. And then in the third week, you are flossing 3 teeth. And then in the fourth week, you're flossing 4 teeth. And can you see how this is building? And now the habit is in place. So this habit lasts a lifetime because you've started off small. It's felt very, very easy. And you've got to take this same approach with your acting goals in 2025. If you go in full pelt in January, I promise you now, you will not be keeping that momentum in February or March. I don't know what the data is on this because I haven't found any studies, but I follow a lot of psychologists, a lot of doctors who all say the same thing, that when you go in full pelt, you cause stress leads to overwhelm, and that's when we stop taking action. So do get clear on what your acting goals are for 2025, but then break them down into such a way that your brain will get on board with them. So with my acting students in the 10-week method acting module, they have to do the relaxation exercise every single day, away from the classes. So we do it in the class for an hour, and then they have to do it for 15 minutes every single day. And lots of them are like, oh gosh, I don't have the time for it. I'm resisting it. And it's not that they don't want to do it. It's just that inner critic is speaking so loud that now it's causing them to feel overwhelmed and stressed. And what happens when we're overwhelmed and stressed? We shut down and we don't take action. So what I always say to them is this: start small. The first thing you need to do is just put your chair in a space in your house or flat or apartment or wherever you live. That's it. And then when they do that, they go, oh yeah, this is easy. And then I say to them, well, the next thing is nice and easy. We're going to habit stack. Just sit in the chair. That's literally all you need to do. Just sit in the chair. And they do. And they go, oh, well, that's nice and easy. And I say, okay, well, the body actually really likes being in a relaxed state. So all we need to do now is just close our eyes and connect with your body. Just connect with it in that moment and get it into a comfortable position. So they do that next bit, which is nice and easy for them. And then before you know it, they've completed the 15 minutes of the Methods Chair relaxation exercise because they've habit stacked. They've broken it down into tiny little doable steps, as opposed to thinking about the exercise as a whole, which feels overwhelming. Now, everybody's got 15 minutes in a day, but our brains will tell us stories that we don't. So this is why we have to break things down into super small, manageable, doable activities. So have you set any acting goals for 2025? If you have, well done. If you haven't, don't beat yourself up. It's all right. Go away and set yourself some. And then break them down into super small, easily doable activities and start building. Just as you've heard me share in the example with the floss in the teeth, and just as you've heard me share with the Methods Chair relaxation exercise that my acting students do. You are more than capable of achieving your goals in 2025 with your acting career if you follow this process. It's proven, it's easy, and it is simple enough for your brain to get on board with it without you feeling overwhelmed and stressed. And actually what you'll find is you feel excited and you become truly unstoppable. And I'm so excited for you in 2025 because I know if you take this approach, big things can happen for you. If you're loving this episode and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so fired up, it's given me a new way of thinking. I'd never thought about goals like this before, or I have thought about goals like this before, but I totally forgotten. It's been a good refresher. But you need accountability. You do better when you've got a coach there backing you every single week. Then the 10-week method acting module is for you, because our acting students, because they have that weekly accountability, become so proactive with their acting goals. They become so proactive with their career. And of course, their acting improves to such an incredible place that they become 10 times more castable. So the 10-week method acting module takes what I teach you in the episodes to a more advanced level, and it's more practical, but it will get you achieving your acting goals. Thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to see what you achieve in 2025.
I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.